let's talk about all the clairs of being psychic. Having psychic abilities is more conventional than people think it is. I found that a lot of people always say things like they want to be able to read people's minds and stuff like that. Like, trust me, you don't want to be able to do that. Like, trust me. So first off, being clairvoyant is basically having a sixth sense about stuff. Like, you just have this knowing about something, or being able to see something that has not happened, or being able to sense something, or being able to like feel something past the ordinary. But for this video, I will refer to clairvoyance as the ability to see only, like sight. Yeah, the psychic ability of sight, of seeing, of visions. Let's go through the four clairs, the four psychic clairs: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance. Clairvoyance is being able to see beyond your sight. They can see beyond the physical. They can see like what people call supernatural or spirits. They can see beyond the physical realm. A clairvoyant will see it in their mind, like they will see it like a picture, like they're watching a movie or something. A clairvoyant can have visions where, they're seeing something that is going to happen, or they're seeing something happening. They can have visions, they see, it's sight. Yeah. Compared to clairaudience, a clairaudient person can hear. It's audio. They hear beyond the physical realm. Yeah. So while a clairvoyant can see beyond the physical realm, a clairaudient can hear beyond the physical realm. Now, a clairsentient can sense things, can feel beyond the physical realm. They can feel like things outside of their self. Yeah. So a clairvoyant can see, a clairaudient can hear, and a clairsentient can feel. They can feel things that are outside of them. Now, a claircognizant just knows. It's like that knowing. It's like what we call intuition, but this is just like a knowing just comes upon you. Like you could be sitting down and then the next thing you just know something. You don't know how you know or where you know it for. It just comes upon you. Yeah. So now let's go deeper into these clairs. Some people have the ability of clairvoyance, but that's the only ability they might have. So if you only have clairvoyant abilities, you can see visions, but you might not be able to hear. In your visions, you might not be able to hear sound or feel, you just see. So if maybe you see a vision of two people standing and talking, and maybe what you're seeing, they look like they're having a heated conversation, but you can't hear or feel the emotion. You can see like people that have transitioned. You can see dead people, yeah, but you can't hear them. You can only see them. You can't speak to them. They can't speak to you. You can't hear what they're saying. You can't feel them, but you see them. You see ghosts, or you see dead people, or you see like spirits, or you see like, aliens or whatever you're seeing. Well, clairvoyants can see. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they have all the other gifts. So a clairvoyant with only clairvoyant abilities can see visions, and they have to now interpret it based on what they're seeing. But there might be a miscommunication because of lack of audio or lack of feelings there. Whereas a clairaudient can hear. Now, a clairaudient can hear what is happening, like they can hear beyond the physical. Clairaudience tells someone, oh, your grandmother or your grandfather or somebody from your ancestry sent me to give you this message. And then the person is like, okay, how did they look like? But a clairaudience might not know how they look. They only know how to interpret sound. They can receive and interpret sound. So someone who is only clairaudient might receive the message through sound, and that's it. They cannot see, they cannot feel, they only understand through sound. Yeah. And clairaudience might hear things around them. You can't really put a face to it, but they hear like different voices. The stronger your psychic abilities are, you can discern between the voices. Where normally voices in your head might just be like going all, you just be hearing different things in your head, you think it's your mind. A clairaudient person knows how to discern, okay, this is my voice, this is not my voice, this is this person's voice. And they know how to receive messages, you know how to receive messages beyond the physical. They receive messages in their dream through sound, whereas a clairvoyant will receive messages in their dream through vision, through sight. Now, a clairsentient, that is feeling, that is sensing, feels stuff. Have you ever had a dream and you can't remember the dream, but you wake up and you can feel the emotion of the dream. You can feel like anger, you can feel like happiness, you just feel that emotion. So a clairsentient, person they can feel emotions, they can feel emotions beyond the physical. They can feel other people's emotions, In my own personal opinion, having clairsentient abilities is like the hardest, because you're feeling shit that is not for you, and you're feeling it in your body. So a clairsentient person, for instance, might be around people that don't like them, and maybe the people are smiling, but they can just feel it, like, this is how this person feels about me. Or you're around someone who likes you, or someone who is like sexually attracted to someone who is sexually attracted to you. You're feeling what they're feeling. Now, a sentient person who is not like strong in their powers would think that that is their feelings. When you feel other people's stuff, you think, oh, this is me, it's for me, but it's not. So that is where responsibility comes in with psychic abilities, because a lot of times you might think that it's your own shit, but it's not your shit. So a clairsentient person, for instance, might be in a gathering, and it's feeling like everybody's shit, and they think it's their own, and they start acting based on that feeling. It's like being around someone who is envious of you, and you're feeling that person's envy, but you don't know that it's that person's envy. You start to feel it as if you are the envious person. This is where discernment comes in navigating psychic gifts. And there are people that have more than one clair, Some people have just one clair, but there are people that have more than one clair. Now, claircognizant is just that knowing. Like, you could just sleep and wake up and know something, It's like, where the heck did I know this thing from? Well, it's like, you just know. So you can just be somewhere and you're just, doing normal stuff. And next thing, something that is unrelated to what you're doing comes in, like that knowing. Some people mistake being intelligent for being claircognizant. Being intelligent is recognizing patterns, yeah? There's certain formulas that this world operates under. Once you're able to figure out that formula, it's like you already know how things would go. That's using like logic and reasoning. Intelligence, yeah? It's just like math or further math or physics. Once you know the formula to something in math or further math, you know the formula, okay, pi plus this is this, x times this is this becomes this. Once you know that formula, you're able to solve any equation that operates under that formula. That's how life is. Once you get the formulas to life, you're able to figure out anything. Now, this is different from being claircognizant, Being claircognizant is not you using your brain, or your intelligence to recognize patterns. It is you just knowing. Like, when you're in tune with your psychic abilities, it's not like every time you even need them, because some things are just common sense. Like, seriously, it's not everything that you're like, oh, my psychic ability. No, some things it's just common sense. It's the same way you have different clairs. Depending on the clair you have, that is how you read people's minds, Being psychic, and these clairs come with the ability to read other people's minds and energies. Now, people think reading minds is this cool thing. It is not. It comes with a lot of stress. It is overwhelming, yeah? Because check this. Average human being is complex, and we feel things at different times. So maybe when you're around someone, at that particular point you're around them, they're feeling a certain emotion. Yeah. And you're feeling that emotion, like you're reading them, whether you're reading them through feelings or through visuals or through sound, you're reading what they're feeling in that moment. Maybe the next day they have moved on from that feeling and they're feeling something else. And you might still be stuck at that first thing. E.g., you might be around somebody and maybe like they're angry and they're pissed off at you. And in their mind, they're just going, oh, look at this fucking idiot, I hate her, I this, like that, that's how they're feeling, that's what they're giving off, and you're hearing that, you're reading their mind, feeling their feelings, and you're like, oh shit, this person hates me. And maybe they're just angry in that moment, and that feeling is just for that moment. And maybe in some hours time, they're all calmed down and they now like have like good feelings now, and they're like, oh, I love you. And then you're like, but this person just hated me now, and if you're not like evolved in your psychic abilities, you might get carried away and stay stuck in that initial feeling of anger, like, shit, this person hates me. So even when they have gone past that feeling, again, we're humans, our feelings change. You might still be stuck on that, and then now they're like, okay, let's just move on, I love you now, but you might still be stuck on that, or maybe someone is envious, maybe someone feels envy towards you for something, and it's not really malicious, but they just feel this pang of envy. And then you read their mind and you see that, oh, this person is envious, and you start feeling, oh shit, this person is envious, this person hates me, blah blah blah. And in the next minute or the next day, that has passed, but now you're stuck in that feeling. So being able to read people's minds and their feelings comes with a lot of responsibility. It comes with a lot of maturity. Like, you have to be able to discern, you have to be able to handle it. If not, you'll get overwhelmed, because people are fickle in how they think. Like, people are constantly changing, yeah. And there's some that you can just feel their energy, and this person doesn't like you. You read your mind and you know that, okay, this person doesn't like you, or this person feels this way towards this person, and you've already read it there. And even if they're pretending, or they're smiling, or they're trying to act like nothing, you already feel it. You know that this person is harboring a lot of ill feelings towards you or somebody else, yeah. So there's also that. But then you can't go and just say, oh, look, I'm reading your mind, blah blah blah, because again, where the responsibility comes in is that, you being able to read this person's mind and their feeling is you also going against that person's sovereignty. You're going against their sovereignty, and you're penetrating their auric field. Yeah, that's why everybody has to be guarded and shit. You're penetrating their auric field, and you're gaining access to them when they didn't even give you permission. But that's the thing with psychic abilities, it's like you cannot help it. Yeah, but still, that's where discernment and maturity comes in, because you now know, you need to know how to navigate it. So you can't just be like expressing everything that you're hearing from another person or you're feeling. They might change their mind about how they feel about you. And the most interesting one is sexual energy, like when someone is sexually attracted to you. And having psychic ability means that you're also going to be feeling that. So maybe you're around someone and they're just like, there's just this intense sexual attraction they have for you. You can hear it or you can feel it, and it's just there. And if you're not careful, you think it's your own and think, shit, I'm attracted to this person, but you're just feeling their shit. Having psychic abilities can be interesting in this way, because it's like, if it's someone that you both are attracted to each other sexually, you can feel your own and feel their own. Imagine how intense that is for the person that has these psychic abilities. It's like intense. But yeah, it comes with a lot of responsibilities, really. You can't just be out here like listening to people's thoughts and feeling out everything they're feeling, and it will get to you. So first, you have to be able to discern. You have to be able to discern what is for you and what is not for you. Especially if you're a highly sensitive psychic, like you're highly sensitive, like you feel everything like this. Some people use alcohol to tone down their psychic ability. Imagine entering a room and you're just feeling everybody's shit. It can be overwhelming. Yeah. Some people drink, get high, just to tone it down so that they're like out of their senses and they're not like really feeling those things in that moment. That's not like a good coping mechanism, though, like getting intoxicated for that. That's why it's important to like train your psychic abilities. It takes time, but you have to actually be around people so that you can keep training your psychic abilities so that you're able to discern and know where you start and where somebody stops. And so you're not like projecting what another person is giving off as your own. And you're not out here going to meet people, oh, your grandmother said I should tell you. Like no. A lot of times people just think you're crazy. When you're like talking to like a proper psychic, sometimes the information they give you might not like understand it because maybe the psychic is like a clairvoyant and they're seeing it but they're not like hearing or feeling. Or maybe the psychic is like clairsentient and maybe they feel the presence, and they understand it, but they don't know how, they're not hearing words, they're not seeing, so they cannot describe with sight. Or maybe it's claircognizant and they just know, like cognizant, you just know, they just know the information, they just know what it's about. Depending on the psychic ability of the psychic that you're dealing with, the information might differ. So that's why it's also important for like when you have psychic abilities to train them so that you know how to interpret them properly. Our reality changes. So even if you're talking to a psychic and they tell you, okay, if you keep going on this path, this is what will happen, blah 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 blah. Now if you change course, the reality changes. So when someone, like when you go for a tarot reading or a psychic should give you a reading and they tell you, okay, this is what is going to happen, it's not set in stone. It's based on your current reality. What is happening in your current reality, this is where it's leading you to. It's like you're driving a car on a road and you're going down that road and there's like a ditch ahead that your car is going to fall inside. Maybe as you're going, you now decide to take a detour, It means you're not going to meet that thing again. But your whole mind was going straight towards that road. So once you take that detour, it means that ditch is no longer in your path. So the psychic is saying the reality based on the road that you're treading. And sometimes the road you're treading will not have a detour. You just like this kind, whether you like it or not, that path you're on, you're going to enter that ditch. So that could also happen. To strengthen your psychic abilities, you need to like go into nature. A lot of people need to start touching grass. Really, really. Like I was talking to someone the other day and they were telling me how, oh, they cannot remove their shoes. They don't walk bare feet in the house, blah, blah, blah. Thinking it was a flex. And I'm just there like, really? You must be disconnected. A lot of people do not touch grass, do not touch sand. I used to be that person who I could not let my legs, like my feet, touch bare floor. I was always wearing socks. Even when I was indoors, I would always wear socks. My feet never touched the bare floor. Yes, I was totally disconnected. The game changed when I started to I removed the socks. See, I remove my shoes anywhere. People need to start touching grass. They need to start using their feet to touch the floor, to touch sand, Yeah. There are people who will say, oh, I'm afraid of trees. I can't stand under a tree. Why? That's a disconnection. That's why when some people tell me that they are channelers, they have psychic ability, and then you see them, they're just like very anti-nature, they don't like have anything that they do where they're in tune with nature. I'm like, where are you channeling from? Where is your source? Because that is also important. Like the person that is channeling, what is their source? The channel is important. People need to start taking off their shoes and touching floor, not cement, ground. Even if it's grass or floor, like touch floor, because we live in a world where we have so many shoes that are just like disconnecting us. Like these shoes are not grounding at all. Some people even wear shoes that will take them like 5 feet off the earth. Everybody's wearing canvas. for wearing shoe, like all these shoes, you need to start removing your shoe and touching grass, touch floor. But we all have access to these psychic abilities, and it comes from our third eye. Like the sight, the hearing, it's not like your normal ear or your eyes, it's your third eye. So a clairvoyant is seeing from their third eye, a clairaudient hearing from their third eye, a clairsentient is feeling from their third eye, a claircognizant is knowing from their third eye. So it's from your third eye, and there are a lot of things you need to do to be decalcifying your third eye. Even if those psychic abilities don't come to you naturally, there are ways that you can bring them online. But again, it comes with a lot of responsibilities. Yeah, like Peter Parker's Uncle Daddy said, with great power comes great responsibility. So next time you're sitting down thinking, oh, I want to read minds, it's cool. It's not like that. It's not like that. You're feeling people's shit. Yeah, you're feeling shit, and people's feelings change. Yeah, the person that hated you yesterday might love you today, and then you're just stuck on that, oh, this. Yeah. Anyway, peace out.